Hey, what's up? It's Kendama Gendale here. It's 2:24 a.m. March 15th. I'm bringing you Kendama Gendale and the fake news. Today, the big thing was the tax returns. I just wanted to go over this quick. I've been working like 60-hour days and stuff, or 60-hour weeks, so I haven't been good about doing shows every day or anything. But I think the ones that we have done have kind of been more focused and better as a result of it. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bad YouTube content creator. So Donald Trump, uh, part of his tax return, I guess it's like 4 pages. Um, I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't read the actual taxes yet. I just basically watched CNN and Fox all day on silent, and it sure this vibes like a Trump trick to me. I think Trump is the one doing this. Um, I think basically the left is falling for this entire narrative, and I think they're losing. Um, so let's just go over some of the narratives. Like, does Trump benefit from these narratives? Because here we've got these leak narratives, right? And Trump, I think, benefits from if he looks strong against these leaks, then he benefits. If he looks strong against leaks in general, I think he benefits. And people are gonna say that Trump, is prosecuting leaks because he has something to hide. And so every time one of these things comes out and it looks like he doesn't have something to hide, it's going to undercut this narrative that Trump is a whistleblower prosecutor, right? He's kind of doing it as an FU to Obama, who promised whistleblower protections and then, went after whistleblowers a lot. All right. Next narrative is this one of Donald Trump um, doesn't pay income taxes, right? Because this is a big issue. Um, during during this election, Clinton attacked him for not paying taxes, and he had that famous line, "That makes me smart," right? And it's sort of this broader narrative in the Trump campaign of like, rich people are the ones who are best at their jobs, and rich people are the ones who are best equipped to understand what rich people can and can't do, right? And to fix the tax code. Rich people know because rich people know the rich people loopholes, and government people don't. They keep the government loopholes. So that's his narrative, and if he is a like, I get the sense that Donald Trump loves bragging about how good of a citizen he is. He loves bragging about how much he pays in taxes, and he loves bragging about that he doesn't use tax loopholes because he believes in social programs, right? I get the sense that he does that in private, and this thing that came out today appears to be um, you know, it appears to be good. Let's get the general landscape here, right? This is kind of what we. So MSNBC's got an exclusive look at Donald Trump's tax return. The second thing is Trump paid $38 million in 2005 federal income tax. Well, so that kind of undercuts this narrative that he doesn't pay taxes, right? So that's a big Trump win. And this is on MSNBC. Let's not forget. And then that's pretty much it. Trump's tax returns are now obtainable, or are obtainable. I guess she gave a pretty good polemic on why the tax returns should come out, but I think she overplayed her hand big time on this one. Um, White House releases some tax details. Um, so I'm actually not clear on this. I thought that it was just Rachel Maddow that released the taxes. Um, I guess.
Throughout the presidential campaign, Donald Trump kept his tax.
They released those details in advance of the Maddow stuff. This is conspiracy. Oh, I wanted to do the Donald because these are the Trump people, right? This is what the Trump people look like. Um, man loses all remaining credibility. Their whole joke about Rachel Maddow is that she's a man. Um, Kind of offensive. It's very trolly, very indicative of kind of the part of the side of the Donald supporters that I don't really care for. But Trump paid more taxes in 2005 than Bernie did in 2014. The face you make when your big story literally gets debunked right before your eyes. I want to thank Rachel Maddow for single-handedly destroying the Trump hasn't paid any taxes in the past 18 years narrative. Clinton's press secretary earlier today. The Holy Grail. It didn't. Yeah, you get the idea. They're celebrated. They couldn't be happier. Um, Fake news bonanza. Media shamed by president's tax return. Rachel Maddow. Epic fail. Rachel Maddow mocked after dragging out Trump tax scoop. Um, yeah, so I mean, the Trump supporters are getting a big boost out of this. Fox News didn't mention it on the first thing. It's the second issue. Um, White House rips desperate story. So they're definitely getting a pro spin on it. Not as ecstatic as the. I think it seems like Fox is still in data, you know, damage control mode, whereas as Breitbart and the right, the Donald, which is they're kind of the same. They definitely have a lot of crossover between their narratives. Um, they're ecstatic. I wanted to. I was going over this a little bit because I'm convinced that this entire tax thing is it's Donald Trump trolling. Um, it's basically his revenge for the birther stuff, right? Because what is this? What is this story, right? It's demanding the president release documents to prove that they are not beholden to foreign interests. It's demanding that the president release documents proving that they have America's interests in mind. This is the key to this narrative, right? And so this is what Donald Trump did with the birth certificate, right? He got Obama to publish a birth certificate. That's his narrative. He's the one who got Obama to publish the birth certificate. And so I think he's basically baiting liberals into demanding in his tax returns. He just intentionally withheld his tax returns, knowing the left would go, what's he got to hide in his tax returns? And what he's got every single you're going to see this happen over and over again. They're going to say we got part of Trump's tax returns. And each time they're going to leak a little bit more, and I believe these leaks are coming from the Trump camp. And each time they're going to say, "Oh wow, Donald Trump is such a great citizen. He pays all of his taxes, and above all, this is the most important for Trump, right? And he is so rich." What he's doing is he's trolling the media into doing long segments about exactly how rich Donald Trump is. Um, yeah, and so I'm super stoked on that. Barack Obama citizenship conspiracy theories. I'd like to go a lot more into this whole birther thing because it really is kind of an interesting narrative. It seems to be the thing that connects Breitbart with Donald Trump. This is back in July of 2012. You have Trump retweeting Breitbart news. So I would be super curious to see if there was official communication between these two or public communication prior to this. I'd be interested to know if there was private communication between these two prior to this. But this does seem to be one of the narratives that links them. And this is definitely like a big part of Trump's cabinet picks and stuff is this idea of Muslim infiltration of American governments. That's a big that seems to be the thing driving most of his policies. It's you've got the wall, you've got the immigration stuff, and it's part of these conspiracy You get conspiracies that Huma's working for the Muslim Brotherhood, um, that Obama's a CIA baby, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I've always kind of dismissed these out of hand. I I don't know. It seems like McCarthyism, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think it'd be worth going through and trying to figure this out, learning a little more. It's just such a bizarre thing. Okay, I'll leave it at that.